I'm definitely no expert of marriage. But I just want to ask, quite a few of you here are married, so I'd just like to ask you this question. What is the difference between love and marriage? What is the difference, I'm asking, between love and marriage? Is anybody brave enough to say that? Oh, yes, Nancy. And marriage? It's conditional. Okay, love is blind and marriage is an eye-opener. That is my definition. So marriage is one of the most powerful covenants in the world today. And this covenant should be based on love. I hope we all agree. But love is not a feeling. It is actually a decision, a commitment. It is a sacrifice which is made before God. So you don't fall in love like all the songs talk about, falling in love. You don't fall in love. If you're falling, it is definitely not love. It is something else. But you need to grow in love. It's a daily commitment. And a loving marriage has the power to bring untold joy, happiness, peace, contentment, companionship, and intimacy to us. But at the same time, a marriage without love can also bring pain, heartache, isolation, frustration, grief, and more sorrow than any other human relationship. And as some of you here may know, that sometimes marriage doesn't end up the way that we want, because human beings are not perfect. But that's no reason to avoid marriage. That's just a reason to make sure that we have proper expectations of marriage, and also to make sure that you're marrying the right person. And I would like to just advise young people here today that don't fall in love. Please don't fall in love. Make a decision to commit your life to the person. First of all, that the person is a follower of Jesus. And secondly, first of all, ensure that you are a follower of Jesus. Then see that your person you're choosing is a follower of Jesus. Then, at least I would say 60% you are on the right track. Because too often, we fall victim to a cultural expectation of marriage. Now, my idea of love and marriage came from Bollywood movies. And it was a happily ever after that is expected at the end of all fairy tales. In fact, I had a fairy tale theme for my own wedding. And, when we were engaged, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but I met my husband through online chatting. I was in Mumbai, he was in India. And when we were engaged, we chatted with each other online, and I discovered that he lives in England. And I said, where in England? And he said, I live very close to Windsor Castle, very close to the Queen. We can have tea with the Queen. And so I lovingly called him Prince, because he was my Prince Charming living in this fairy tale place in England close to the Queen. And he called me Angel. Well, because he didn't know me very well at all. Little did I know that till I landed here that he was a Prince of Slough. And very soon after living with me, he discovered that I was a devil's angel. So my understanding of love came from Bollywood movies and from the songs, the secular songs we hear about. You fill up my senses like the night in the forest, like a walk in the sunshine, and all those things. And even the Hindi songs which said, "Ek ladki ko dekha to aisa laga, jaise mandir ki ghanti baji," and all sorts of stuff. And that was what it was all about. My idea of marriage was just to the wedding day. I didn't think about after that. They live happily ever after. But what does that actually involve? I came to know after coming to Slough. And then on the wedding day, I heard this very same words, because this was a very Bible reading on my wedding day, which says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And as these words were being read, I looked towards Alan, looked smart in his suit, and I thought, I hope he's listening to all these properly. He has to follow all these things. So we expect our spouse to be the one, to be completely perfect, put together, to completely submit their needs and wants to ours, to assist us in the achievement of our goals, all the while filling us with the love, purpose, and fulfillment that we have yet to be able to find. We expect our spouses to give us what only Christ can give us. So Lillian and Eli, just remember that. Don't have these expectations. Lillian, Eli may be a good man, he's a smart-looking man, but he's going to let you down. He's going to make mistakes. If you're looking for him to complete you, you'll be sorely disappointed. Only Jesus can give you the happiness and purpose that you're looking for. And Eli, Lillian is glamorous, she's stunning, she makes amazing cakes, she's a great cook, but she's not Jesus. She's going to make mistakes. She's going to show her imperfections. Only Christ can give you the hope and purpose that you ultimately crave. And so, friends and young people, we set our spouses or potential spouses up with expectations that only Jesus can fulfill. And if we do that, then we set them up for failure. A man goes to the doctor concerned about his wife's hearing. And the doctor says, stand behind her and say something and tell me how close you are when she hears you. So the man goes home, sees his wife is in the kitchen cutting carrots on the countertop. And so he keeps a distance of about 15 feet and he asks, honey, what's for dinner? Nothing. She can't hear a thing. So he gets halfway to her and repeats the same question. Honey, what's cooking for dinner? Nothing. She still can't hear him. So very concerned, he goes right behind her and asks again, honey, what's for dinner? She turns around and says, for the third time I'm telling you, lamb stew. For heaven's sake, get your ears checked. So sometimes when we criticize others of something, the problem actually might be in us. And that's why I said that marriage is an eye-opener. One thing marriage is great for is showing your faults, your selfish tendencies, the little parts of you that you can hide from everyone else except your spouse. As Tim said earlier, if you ask your children who's a hypocrite, they will look at you and say it's you. And the same with your spouse. They know all your flaws. And that's why I said earlier that love is blind and marriage is an eye-opener. But what we need to do is to be blind to our partner's shortcomings and look out for good in them. So if marriage isn't about finding the one person who will make you complete and take all your problems and loneliness away, then what's the purpose of marriage? Well, marriage is about happiness and companionship, but ultimately it's about God. God created marriage to give us a living picture of Christ's love for the church. That's why the Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And wives, submit to your husbands as the church submits to Christ. So marriage is when a man and a woman become one. We always say we two have become one. The trouble starts when they try to decide which one. So when I got married, I wanted to change Alan. I wanted him to be more like me. So I introduced him to Bollywood movies and Indian food, but he wanted to change me. And he introduced me to Hollywood movies. He made all these meat dishes so that I started eating meat, to Bhangra music and all sorts. And we always argued because I was trying to make him more like me. He was trying to make me more like him. We never came to any common ground. But it was only when Jesus stepped in the middle of our marriage that things began to change. We both started growing closer to Jesus, and we both started becoming more and more compatible as a result. We used to always argue about which music we should be playing in the car. But now we both agree that worship music is the best music. Thank goodness our choice of worship music is the same. And now even our nicknames to each other don't sound that odd. So as you struggle as two sinful human beings trying to make a marriage work, You'll continually realize your dependence on God for success. Marriage ultimately is a spiritual endeavor. Without Christ being at the center of the marriage, we will fail. When you pursue marriage solely to be happy, you'll ultimately be disappointed. But if you approach marriage with the idea that it's more about making you holy than making you happy, you'll discover the true meaning of marriage. And as you continually invite God into your marriage to change you, not your spouse, to change you into the husband or wife you need to be, you'll experience His presence in ways you never thought possible. You'll begin to be a better husband or wife. You'll begin to look more like Jesus. And in the process, you'll discover that deeper joy and purpose that you've been looking for all along. So if done God's way, marriage is the most beautiful experience in the world. And Lillian and Eli, congratulations. I rejoice with you and ask God to bless you as you begin this journey of becoming holy, as you share life with each other. Thank you.